We are live, broadcasting live. This is the Conversation Room 101. Make sure it's only adults in the house. I need your mind to be open, prepared, and relaxed. Welcome to our home. Take your shoes off. We got some rules we need to go over. Be kind. No cursing in the chat. If you want to curse, call in. And no shouting out other channels. That's a no-no. We got one other rule. There is no judging our guests. It will not be permitted. Zero tolerance. And if so, you want to do that, guess what? We got security. And we will escort you out. Because over here, hashtag we don't care. We're going to be one big family. We're going to laugh together sometimes. We're going to cry. But we definitely going to pray. I thank the Lord above for everything. I lift him up and give him the glory. But you guys, right now, we're going to get our popcorn. And then we're going to see what's going on. And let me just park my car. And I'll be in there in a minute. I'll see you soon.
The Copyright Disclaimer Act. The Copyright Disclaimer Act under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news, reporting, teaching, scholarships, and research. Fair use is used permitted by copyright statutes that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
Like, share, subscribe.
Do you want to know? Well, I've been thinking about you. And I think you'll have to listen. Because the sun is up, it's a beautiful day.
And we won't stop. We will not stop.
Sun. Come, won't you come along? And it feels so right. It's like luck is raining on me. Go and follow your heart. Doesn't matter how far. There is so much love to give. Something's telling me this time. Baby, baby, now
See this?
I
How you cannot go?
Baby, baby, gotta go. There is so much love to give. Something's telling me it's right.
Neighbors and the
When you
community
came to me,
compelled to
who are
scour
you?
the area.
It's you, yeah, boy.
Where does the fault lie on you?
Hey family, how's everybody doing? Come on in, you guys. Today is March the 11th, 2026. And wow, I told you guys it was coming. I told you it was coming. So tomorrow, I just came on here for a little chitter chat. But tomorrow Jarvis Bus will meet his fate. Tomorrow, you guys. It's no more, free ride. We gotta want this and want that, and wondering how this is gonna end. It's gonna end tomorrow. Okay, it's gonna end tomorrow and that settles it. I know you guys go, but it just don't even feel like right or justice, and it doesn't. Because it's not. He's not going to meet his maker. But the judge he will meet for this world. He's going to meet the judge tomorrow. And the judge, he's going to have to look at that judge in the eyes and say, yes, I'm guilty of all counts. And the judge going to say, could you elaborate on what happened? What's going on? And he's going to give his explanation. I don't know if we're going to get to hear it, verbally. We should with the public. No doubt. That's what I believe. I mean, hey, but it don't go by what I believe. Because sometimes, like, you got to remember there's kids involved in this. So therefore, and I'm just saying, we're not going to get to hear the explanation because there's kids involved. And when there's kids involved in something that this nature, some victims that are still alive, they have to keep them protected, you know, that they still got a life to live. They can, some of them can probably get over some of this. Some of them will not. Some of them will forget it. Some of them will not. Some people think that just because you're young, you will forget. You may forgive. You may forget the details or the hurt, but you will not forget the act that was done. That's hard to explain, but it is what it is. You guys understand what I'm saying? I know you guys do. I don't have to go off into the details and the litigations of, oh, what do you mean you you will forget, but you won't forget. There's a lot of things that you guys know, but you don't remember the details because it's so long. And not only that, God allowed time to go in there and you know what happened, but you can't even go off into the details. So, with that being said, I want to say hello to everybody that came on in the building this evening. We got Lisa Taylor, we got Tina Powers in the building. I see Nancy LaRose up in here, and because she was first one up in the building, she said hello. She said hello, 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 Nancy LaRose. I seen you come in here. So, you guys, I just want you guys to know, waiting to finally get to see tomorrow or hear. I really just don't think we're gonna get to see anything. I mean, we had a lot of time to think about all of this. Actually, we had like 30 days and everything. Tiffany says Jarvis will not see the light of day again. You're right. She said, I pray Nazaya remains be found. She deserves to be put to rest. She's been through enough. Exactly. I'm in agreement with you, Tiffany. I'm totally in agreement with you. But that being said, I think one of these days, and this is just my thinking, I think one of these days we will be able to put her to rest, but it won't be tomorrow. You know, it just won't. And and sometimes you think, well, how long can this last? She said, I want to see this just like I seen Henry Deacon. Well, I'm going to tell you, Dinkins, Dinkin, Dinkins. Anyway, you won't. And I just told you the reason why. Miss Tina Powers, let me explain something to you. On the Henry Dinkins case, the girl was gone. There was no other victims alive. So therefore, you was able to, you know, see it live. He didn't plead guilty. He had a full trial. Your girl drove all the way up there. Iowa, I think it was Iowa we went to. And I think Tina Powers was on the phone when we got up in the car and said, let's go, Papa, let's go. We want to go. We didn't know if it was going to be a guilty verdict or non-guilty verdict. We didn't know. We felt it was going to be guilty. And we wanted to support the family because it was, a tug in our hearts. We wasn't going to get anything out of it but to support the family, and told the family. I had spoke to the mother, of Briasia. And she asked, was we coming? And I said, yeah, we're gonna be there. And we took that long drive up there, and we argued the way up there, and we argued the way back, but we made it on up there. And the funny thing about it is, and you guys did not know this, that day that we went, I think Tina know that we had went and we had got a car, and we went to go eat breakfast, and then we was going to just travel on up there, just but we ate breakfast here at, not at the house, but in town. And we came back to the house to grab our luggage. And tell me why when we stepped in the house the lights was off. And Papa looked and he was like, is electricity out in the neighborhood? So, we had to go through like the neighbors and see. And the neighbors had electricity. And I was like, did I pay the bill? And I'm like, I don't think I paid the bill or whatever, or something happened. So I had to call the electric company. Now, take in consideration, I had like $500 on me. And I was gonna, it usually come on a certain day, but so many days in a month, the date has switched to a different day. And so I really don't pay attention to all of that. But nevertheless, they said, no, you need to pay the bill. I said, well, how much is their bill? She said, $400 right now. So I had to, we didn't have to go to the bank or nothing because I had it on my card. So I hurried up and paid it. And so I had just $100 in my pocket. Yeah, $100 in my pocket. And Papa said, are we still going to go? Like, that's gas money, baby. I said, well, we got the car. I said, by the time we get up there, we be good. We get a room or something, maybe yes or no. I don't know. I've got I got cards, so that is really no big deal. But our spinach, what we was going to spend, we had to pay the electric bill really quick. And then my check came like midnight that night. So we was going to be okay, but it was just the ideal that the devil tried to make it where we couldn't go, or we'd be like, let's not go. We own nickels and quarters right now. Let's not go. I just said, come on, let's just go. Let's just go. And when you go and you don't really have a lot of money that you can just stop and buy little knickknacks and things like that, it just makes the travel and not as good as it could have been. Is you can't see the road that well, and so you know what I mean. So there was a little bit of arguing there and here and chit chatter, and you drive and I ain't gonna drive, and da 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 da. We need to stop. And for some reason, my bladder, I had to pee like on every hour. Tina says, I remember. We had to stop at every filling station. And he was like, what is wrong with you? I was like, I got to pee again. And he's like, oh my God, we're peeing every 20, 30 miles. But we got there. I don't know. I said, I think I got me a little infection going on, but let's get there. And Tina was on the phone, and we laughed and giggled. She said, yes, P, remember that pretty car that you showed us? I think it was gold or something like that. Man, that was a pretty car. Yeah. Yeah. So we drove on up there, and we got to witness the verdict live, and then they wanted to set everybody that wasn't family in another room. I didn't come for that. I told the family, I'm sitting with you guys. I'm sitting, and when they was like, if you're not family, move to the back, I did not move. I was sitting right behind uh, her brother. And his eyes were so pretty, you guys. If you would have really seen him in just living color, you would have said, "This boy got some pretty eyes. Oh, beautiful eyes." And he was just, he was a good looking kid. Anyway, anyway, um, they didn't tell on me and say, "Hey, she's not part of the family," and blah 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 blah. Because you know what? Yeah, I would have made a little scene a little bit because I came too far to be sitting in another room. But anyway, it was nice to be there. I felt like it's weird, and I'm gonna tell you guys. I felt like they did get justice. The mother felt like she got justice for her daughter. You guys seen I was the first one to be able to even ask her a question. I just wiggled myself in there and I asked her mother. I said, "How do you feel? How do you feel right now?" And she said, "I don't know if anybody in here remember what she said. If you remember what she said, write it on down. I'll give you a minute. I'll give you a minute. If you can remember what Briasia's mother said when I asked her, how did she feel?" This is right after the verdict, and we went outside. Your girl, SP, asked, "How do you feel?" And Briasia's mother answered. And then everybody else had to ask their questions. But we asked the magic questions. We got in there. The mother said she felt great. No, that ain't what she did feel great, Miss Tina, but that is not what she said. She did feel great, but that is not what she said. Her true words. There you go, Lisa Taylor's in the building. She said she felt like she just won the lottery. That's her exact words. Lisa, remember. See there, you guys? Lisa, you passed the test. She said, "I feel like I just won the lottery." Karen says, "I remember the lie, but not what she said." That's what she said, Karen. She said, "I feel like I just won the lottery." And some of us was not so happy but we did get Briasia back. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of a little of a difference. It's kind of a little of a difference because they did find Briasia. You know what I mean? So, and in this situation, we don't have Naziah. No family. Well, she do got some family that did kind of go hard for her. You got Roxy and Quila, whatever her name was. She came in here a couple of times. You got family members. They, first cousins and second cousins and stuff like that. I mean, they came in, they talked. Now, the thing about it is, um, you know, they were looking for Naziah and they didn't do nothing wrong. Some people got mad and angry with them, but I looked at it like it was a distraction, really, because they didn't do anything wrong. They probably, with her aunts and grandmas and stuff. Yeah. Yeah. Not, I'm not talking about Annette and Shannon and Marquita. I'm talking about the other ladies that came on. They came in the chat and, they was mad about who was saying what and what was said when, this, that, and the other. I mean, we ended up talking to Annette's son, and I told you guys who he was and where he was at, and he called himself a police officer, and he wasn't looking for Naziah and da 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 da. And all this other stuff. We never did get to talk to Naziah's mother. We talked to Jarvis's sister. She was pretty cool. Um, she felt sad about the whole situation. Um, the funny thing about the whole situation, I'm just gonna keep it real with you guys. You know, the one that I felt empathy for, and it's crazy, was Jarvis's sister. And I'm gonna tell you why. And I don't know, like I said, if she had anything to do with anything. I don't know. I don't want to believe she did. I can't tell you if she did, if she didn't. It's always a possibility of things of that nature. I don't know if she knew. I don't know, Karen. I don't know if she really just didn't know. I don't know. Some part of me say I think she knew, and part of me say she could have been caught in that mess and just didn't even know, really. But I'm gonna tell you guys right now, um, I'm literally in my world, in my life, my time, my age. Some people may not like how I believe what I believe because they're a little bit enthusiastic about what they believe. And she said, I don't think she had anything to do with it, with it. Okay. With what he did. Okay. But I have learned in time that when I first think about something and the possibility that's what it is, that's probably what it is. It's more likely that's what it is. And I did think that of her at the beginning, did she walk the girl to the bathroom to make sure that, the pregnancy test was positive, or did she give her something? I mean, because the way she parked the car, and then the way that when they went to jail, she didn't call King. She drove up there and asked King what was happening, what was said, what was done, and then she waited, 7 to 10 days, and then called, Sharon, the detective, and all of that. But and at the end of the day, you got to remember also, people are not trying to call the detective because they heard this or they believe, somebody told them that. Because I am going to say this, there was people telling her stuff that was true, and there was people telling her stuff that wasn't true. And I know that to be a fact. So, I mean, you definitely don't want to go to the police just because somebody told you something. You don't know if it's true or not. So I get it, but at the same time, she didn't know her brother as much and as much as we thought she did. You know what I mean? So I could feel for her when she was on that stand and she just started, whoo, like, I felt like she was like, man, I mean, all the crap in the world you did, and now here I'm in the middle of it. But I mean, he didn't put her in the middle of it, but he did. Now she called him and asked him to look at her car. Now she did not know what he had planned or had on his mind or what mindset he was in. You know what I'm saying? So she come to get her car looked at, and he's on a whole nother level. So, he didn't do it on purpose, put her in the middle of stuff. You know what I mean? But she felt like he did. You know what I mean? Because she got a whole life that's doing something totally different. She's being realistic. She's being, truthful with her life. She's dead, she's making a certain amount of money. Her livelihood is, When you get a certain age and you like what you do for to make money, it ain't really hard work because you like what you do. And then just because you with somebody or you go see them or they work on your car, now all of a sudden it jeopardizes your whole livelihood. You might, you know, it might mess with your license. It might mess with the people who you work for. They may not want you to work for them no more just because you're connected or attached or kin to that person that's in the limelight of the police and a missing teenager, and how they being charged with certain matters when it comes to kids. So I get it, I understand it, and she has to go to work and kind of defend herself anytime somebody get mad at her for something or such and such or whatever. Maybe she forgot to put the period at the end of the sentence or something. The first thing that's going to come out of their mouth is, your brother's a child molester, your brother done this, your brother. They're going to know her from what her brother did, and then that's a whole different ball game. Karen says, I just wish they would have let her say whatever it was she was trying to say. Now, yes, Karen, I feel you, but I asked her that question. Let me I'm glad you guys can't see me because I'm getting undressed. Not all the way, so hey, don't even think about it. But I did ask her that question. I asked her, I said, hey, they went in the back room. You was like, do you really want me to tell you? And her eyes kind of bucked like, okay, this is why I already thought this or this, that, and the other. And they just looked at each other and said, Judge, we need to have a conversation before she say anything else. And they all went in the back room, one in front of the other. And they went in the back room and she sat in that chair and she swiveled around a little bit. And she looked at him and he wouldn't look at her. He just kept on writing with his left hand. And she shook her head. And then she got just the moaning, just She looked out into the audience because she had a friend there that was supporting her. And she just looked at them and she just shook her head like, oh my God, like really, And I said, Tawana, what was it that you asked them? Do they want you to tell them everything? And they stopped you. This is how she answered the question. She said, it's not what you think. So, in all reality, she never did answer the question. She just told me, it's not what you think. And I'm thinking to myself, now what do you think I think? Hey, Zena, how you doing? I see you in the building. Because I was thinking she was going to say she knew, because of something, or because King told her that was Naziah. She was like, because remember, she was like, I ain't seen no kids other than my nieces and nephews. I ain't seen no other kids. And King told her, yeah, you seen her. You seen her that day. That was Naziah. Right? Yeah. So I don't think that she thought her brother could do something of that nature. I'm just being honest with you guys. I don't think She thought that he could physically take a person out. You know, that's what I think. I think she probably didn't want to know that he had the tendencies, but she knew that. In all reality, regardless of what story he told her, which he did tell her and the family, he was in prison because he dated a girl that told him she was older when she wasn't. Nobody's gonna go and say, okay, let's figure out what lie you done told. I mean, what was the girl's name and how old was she? And and if someone comes out of prison and say, nah, let me tell you really what happened. Nah, it wasn't no kid. It was a 16-year-old girl that told me she was 18. I dated her, and then blah, blah, blah. And the family got mad about the whole situation. My attorney told me if I fought it, that I was going to be found guilty. I was going to get more time. So I went ahead and pleaded guilty to it because, the girl was 16, did my time, and I'm good. That is a believable story that not only he told his sister, allegedly, but also told Shannon. I don't think Shannon cared, really. I think sometimes females, and I'm just going to say this, I think females hear what they want to hear. And if they want to give you the pass card and let you on in their life and around their children and around their family, or just because you look good or you smell good or you speak nice to them, give them some attention, they'll give you the pass. And so you could tell them, nah, that was your cousin and she had a crush on you. And you told her no, and she told them this story. You can tell the female anything. And if she wants to believe you, she will. It don't even have to be believable. I watch too much stuff, especially like on Pop the Balloon. If any of you guys watch these things on Pop the Balloon on YouTube, put a 1 in the chat. And it just seems like, when people looking for a relationship or looking for someone to have relations with, they always, it's emotionally, it's the inner, it's not what's on the outside. These women be like, I pop my balloon because of your shoes. I pop my balloon because of your shirt. I pop my balloon, but in all reality, they're not really popping their balloon because this person, if this person had a master's degree, has 3-4 businesses, have his own stuff, they sitting there giggling like they is the trophy. Like, I'm picking you. It's weird. But when you get older, and I'm just saying, I'm just telling the truth, you guys. When you get older, you realize, and I didn't even realize it, you know, you can go for looks all you want. Looks ain't gonna do nothing for you when you get married. And I mean, it's all right to look at somebody and be like, oh, they're just really easy on the eyes, easy on the eyes. Like, I can at least look at them. Okay, that's great. But when you want somebody that'll fix your car, that'll help pay bills, that's not gonna go and have relations with your sister or your kids, when you want somebody to come home every night that has morals and values, or do you just want somebody to look good but won't do none of that? That's crazy. That's what I call crazy. Because guess what? We all gonna get old, and them looks are going to fade away. The looks are going to fade away. Trust and believe. You're going to get a little big, a little chubby. Everything that was up south is going north for the female and the male, are shriveled up, are broken down, not working right, can't walk a whole mile no more, in a wheelchair, done had a stroke, hair falling out, teeth rotting, you name it, high blood pressure, taking all kinds of meds, and they're not going to be looking the same. So wouldn't you like something that's stable, like a 401k and a house, a roof over your head, and a little bit more Social Security money so that you can get the meds that you need, so that you can see your kids and your grandkids and and go traveling a little bit? So Tony says 35 years, that's it. Now, that's not enough for a life. Her life is worth more than 35 years. That's not justice. Shaking my head. Easy on the eyes and emptying the pockets. Yes, Karen. That's what it's all about. I'm just saying. I mean, if you want to make it easier on yourself in the long longevity of things, that's what it's about. You ain't got to like it, but I guarantee you it's more better for you. And plus, not only that, the stress that you won't have in your life. You know what I mean? You won't have all the stress of, is he coming home tonight, and who is he talking to, and this, that, and the other, and then you got a 401k too, and all that other stuff. So I always tell people, you want to connect on love. If the person treats you right, you need that more than anything. You need that more than anything. And I've learned that your kids they'll spend time with you, and sooner or later they'll be like, oh, that's mom's. Unless they need something. Then they'll come back and say, I ain't bothered you or nothing, but I sure need this right now. Huh. Maybe you can help them, maybe you can't. Who knows? But one thing we do know, and it's sad, but, Naziah, there's a little bit of Naziah in all of us, where we feel the pain of this person is not in this world. We didn't know her from a bag of beans 2 years ago. We didn't know her name. We didn't know she existed. We didn't know what school she went to. We didn't know what she was going through or anything. And the people that was around her knew her but didn't care. It just seems to me like I try to spread, a little bit of knowledge, plus support for love for one another. I believe, and I'm pretty sure I'm not wrong, you may not can measure it, but I do believe that God wants us to love one another, whether it's our kid or someone else's child, to try to protect them. It doesn't have to be my biological child that I feel some kind of pain for this child that's not here anymore. But, it's just a little late that we even know she even existed. By the time we found out that her name was Naziah, she was 13 years of age. She lived in, Detroit. She went to this school. She had a relationship with this grown man. it was too late. She was already disappeared and nobody was looking for her. Nobody was looking for her. The woman that adopted her wasn't looking for her. Her kids wasn't looking for her. The school wasn't looking for her. The police wasn't looking for her. And I believe, I just do believe that Jarvis had a certain type of females. I won't say women because some of them was kids. So I'll say females that he kind of you know, went after. And these are the ones that wasn't so pretty, the ones that people, you know, didn't pay no attention to. You know, when we talked to Nene, Nene said, I said, "Hey, what did you see in this man? Did he take you out? Did did he buy you a car? Did he buy you lunch?" She was like, "No, he just paid attention to me." So if you can see that and know these are the ones that they go after, try to teach your child or your grandkids or whatever to be not like that. Tell them when they walk around, put their head up. You know, have a little bit of courage. You know, because he did go after the ones that nobody was paying attention to. And those that nobody was paying attention to, they had a life too. Look at Shannon. You know, Shannon ain't all that. I mean, the twins are just not. It's okay. You know, everybody. I think women when they're at a certain age, you know, they're 18 on up in their 20s, when they can have children with no problem. You know, I mean, if you do something, you can have a baby. I mean, if you're not protecting yourself, and if you did have a baby, you would like to have twins. And then somebody did have twins. But, you know, I would like to have some nice looking twins. I I mean, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, hey, who wants to have a set of twins that's not nice looking? You know, I'm just saying. Anyway, tomorrow we will figure it all out, you guys. Karen says, I think he's seen Isaiah as a baby, and that why he got with Shannon. No, I think he seen Shannon, and he knew Shannon had those qualities. She didn't have no kind of nothing really going for her. I mean, you know what I'm saying? She didn't really have the look, so she didn't care who he had sex with, as long as, you know, they can, you know, maybe she, you know, there's some people in this world that enjoys that. They, you know what I'm saying? I mean, that's what they enjoy. I got a girlfriend, she just enjoys some sex. That's all she does. She just enjoy it. She doesn't chase the man around to find out if he got a woman, if he's married, he got children. She like he comes over, they get it going on, and she might cook him a meal or something. He might bring a meal. They have a good time, and he doesn't owe her anything. She doesn't owe him anything. And when they get together, they just get together. I believe that's what Shannon and Jarvis had. They had a relationship where, you know, she thought, man, he looks good. He put it down good. You know, we do all kind of things. You know, he was very active. So his appetite was just, you know. And I'm going to tell you something. If you never met a man like that before, and I'm pretty sure all of you have, that had a really high appetite for sex, that's one thing you might not want to make your main thing. I'm telling you, I had one myself, and I said to myself, I said, "Boy, I never knew where he was at, what he was doing, and he did whatever he wanted to do, and you know what? You know that he had the possibilities of doing stuff that he had no business doing. That's Jarvis. You know what I'm saying? And as long as you stay in there, they stay in there, and you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, she could say she got 5 kids by the same man. And the kids look good. They nice looking kids, and they are. Okay. But that's not what it's all about. And yes, Lisa Taylor, the women had low self-esteem. And when you're around a woman with low self-esteem, the kids are vulnerable. You're making the kids vulnerable. And he knows that. And she didn't have to have kids. I mean, there's people in her. You got to look at. She was vulnerable. Her sister was vulnerable. Her mother was vulnerable. Uh, the mother, all her kids was vulnerable. You know what I mean? So he knew he was going to have access to some children. Exactly, Karen. All the women he had low self-esteem. There was one, and you guys didn't get to meet her. She did not have a low self-esteem, and that was the main one. Oh, that's what he didn't want you to figure out. Okay. That was going to be the nail in the coffin. Okay. Let's put it like that. I can't speak on it because uh we didn't get really off into that. It's no need. But at the end of the day, the woman that he stayed with, I can't remember the street, but her name was Angel. That's the main one. Didn't hear about her too much, right? But she won't admit he did it to his own child. Well, the main one will. That's why he probably decided to just go ahead and tell the truth, you know, and just call it a good day. He's not going to make it in prison all that 35 years. I don't think he'll make it. I just don't. He could. He could pick up some weight and not want to be such a pretty boy, which, he wasn't bad looking, but he just was not my cup of tea. First of all, I really don't care for light skin. No. Now, trust and believe, I've married 2 light skinned brothers, and one of my kids' dad is light skinned. But so I don't discriminate. I'm just saying that's not my forte. That's not what I prefer. And I don't even know why. It's just I just think I just like the melatonin and in the body. I just like the brown skin. I just think it's just beautiful. I don't know. I just think it's beautiful. And so that's what I would prefer. But you don't get everything you prefer in what you're looking for. See what I'm saying? You know what I mean? But I'm not going to take that away and be like, why would I? If somebody came to me that was a nice guy, had all his ducks in a row, you know, dressed nice, respectable, wanting to do the right thing and support me and love on me. I don't care if he light, white, pink, or purple. I don't care. I just don't care. I prefer him to be of a brown skin color like myself. But if he not, he just not. Huh? Hmm. Hmm. You know what I'm saying? Angel was the spicy, spicy is not feisty, feisty. Yeah, we didn't get to see her. They didn't bring her in. They was gonna bring her in when his time trial came, and I don't think he wanted all that to be out there. You know, so he just decided just to call it a good day and say, okay, what can I get if I plead guilty? And they gave him a deal. You know, we'll put all the charges together. And then, even though you get 35 years, all the charges run consecutive or concurrent. I'm sorry, not consecutive, but concurrent at the same time. And he'll do 35, 35 and 42, which will end up being, what was it? 35. Let me see. 35 and he 42. He will get, he will be 77, 77, 78. Man, that's a long time. Well, seems to me she knew and didn't say anything. No, no, Karen, I'm going to say this because this is what was told to me. And since you put that out there, I will speak on it. I will tell you what was said to me. What was said to me was she didn't know. And she had just found out. And that was what um, the sister found out. You hear what I'm saying? Are you picking up what I'm putting down? That when the sister had made some calls and talked to some of the mother had told the sister that one of the children had said that this had happened to her and she hadn't told nobody. So, okay. And that could have been what she was going to tell them. But I don't know. I can't speak for nobody. I'm just telling you what was told to me. Hey, Freddie, I see you in the building. We're getting ready to get on off of here, you guys. It is Wednesday, and I do have to work today. I will come on tomorrow because they will have his court. I think it's around 9 or 10 o'clock a.m. in the morning. So we will come on at noon because it will be over in everybody's state, city, and town. It's probably maybe an hour, 2 hours difference, so we all can see how we feel about what, if we get to hear it, which I just told you. I think we're only going to hear him say, yeah, he's guilty, or the news say, yeah, he pleaded guilty and he got 35 years and da 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 da. Chuck it all up. I don't believe we're going to get to hear any details, you guys. Okay. Hey, I don't know. I mean, I'm just like you guys. Things do happen and we do learn as we go. But taking in consideration how these things work, I think, when we got that he pleaded guilty, that was it, really. You know what I mean? And they'll just move on with everything and they'll take him back to the jail cell and get ready to transfer him to the prison, and that'll be that. That will be that. And he can't appeal it. I guess he can. Anybody can appeal anything, whether they say they not or won't or willing or whatever. But and he'll sit back and everybody will forget about him. And hopefully one day, if she wasn't put in the trash, that they will have find her and be able to call it closure, whatever they want to call closure, because even once you do find a body, then they want to know, okay, we still don't have closure because we don't know what happened. Da, 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 da. It's a forever going thing. I don't think you're going to ever get closure unless somebody come out and tell the whole truth. And waiting for that, it's like waiting, setting yourself up for failure, because that's just people just not going to do that. They just don't. But I've been wrong before, so we'll see. Come tomorrow. All right, you guys. I'm going to get off of here. Be good, be great, be nice to each other. All right, and don't let the sun goes down on your anger. Bye.